So you're absolutely right, Sammy. You can pretty much say anything you want to me today. Not only did the Chicago Bears win, the Arsenal won. Like, it was a great weekend. Both my youth soccer teams were very successful over the weekend as well. So a lot of things rolling through, and it's funny because people hit me up today and they're like, "Well, what happened to Caleb?" I'm like, "What happened to Caleb? He was good." Like, obviously, you go out there, you win a game. That was the most important thing. When the Bears win, I don't have to rely on my fantasy teams for my mental stability. I can just go out there and enjoy football for a change. And it was a wonderful weekend of that. And we've got an exciting show lined up for you this evening. So, Sammy, let's just go ahead and start the show.
Welcome to our Fantasy Island.
Welcome to the Sick Podcast on a Monday night, which means it is time to travel to Fantasy Island. Kendall Valenzuela will be joining us here in just a matter of seconds. But first, I have to tweet this out. That is my big thing, to make sure. If you have any questions, try to hit us up. We'll try to get to as many as possible today. Try to answer. I know there's a lot of things going on in fantasy. It has been a big day, but to go out and get us sorted on all this stuff, we would like to welcome back to Fantasy Island from Fantasy Life. You hear her every morning from, I'm assuming it's 10 Eastern. It's 7 my time. So it's 10 Eastern to 12 noon. The great Kendall Valenzuela. First off, let me say congratulations to your Seattle Mariners.
Thank you.
How are you living?
Oh my gosh, the Mariners. We could talk about the Mariners for the whole show if you'd like. I know this is a Bears podcast, but if you would allow me to, I would. I'm great. I'm flying to Seattle on Friday. Going to game 1 on Saturday with my amazing mom, who I am so excited. We made a promise. Listen, we made a promise. I know we're going to talk football here in a second, but the Mariners have my heart. The Mariners are a team that when I was little growing up, I always told my mom, I said, listen, if they ever make the playoffs, if they ever go, we have to go. Little did I know it would take me a long time to get there, Adam. Like a couple years ago, it was like the best day of my life, but now they've done it again. So, life savings spent. No, I'm kidding, but it's a great feeling. So yeah, we're going to game 1 Saturday. So I'm hoping for all good things for the Mariners.
No, that's amazing. I would implore anybody, if you get an opportunity, I know our friend Nick Rohde, who joins us here on Tuesdays, we're adjusting our time for recording because he's going to be going to the Cubs game on Tuesday. I would tell anybody, like, if you get an opportunity to go to a playoff baseball game, you absolutely need to do it. One of my biggest regrets, now, when the Angels were in the 2002 playoffs, I haven't missed a home Angels playoff game. Well, I mean, we haven't had one in over a decade, but would never miss them. The one thing, in 2002, I wanted to fly to New York to go to one of those 2 games, and I didn't. And that's the one. I mean, they ended up winning the World Series, so it worked out well. But that's the thing, like, go and do that and take advantage of it. Listen, we've only got so many laps around this marble.
Exactly.
So go and take advantage of it. I'm very excited for you to get that opportunity to go there with your mom. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also excited about the Chicago Bears. And before we start here tonight, I would like to ask you, as somebody who knows ball, and let's be honest, you're not a Bears fan. You're not. So I would love to have an outsider's perspective of something. So many times it's Braggs, it's Nick, it's all the people glad handing the Bears. I would like your honest assessment, not a fantasy perspective, an honest football assessment of the Bears after 4 games. How are the Bears looking right now?
I think the Bears are good, right? I think you said ball knower, so I try and take all biases out because I look at it from a fantasy angle and a fantasy lens. But I think this was a really good game for the Chicago Bears to win, almost like they needed it. Like they needed to overcome something in this game. So I thought it was good. Now, do I think that they're going to just go on this run and everything's going to be happy and pretty? No, but I think they're continuing to learn this offense with a brand, with a new head coach, with a new kind of set in there. And so you're looking at Caleb Williams and saying, okay, this was a good game for them to win. I saw some of the stats too, like the Raiders had the breakout game from Genty, right? Yet they rushed for 240. The Bears, this fact was crazy. The Bears had lost 10 in a row when giving up at least 240 on the ground, 240 yards on the ground. And then their last win came when they were doing that came in 1979. And then I kept looking and I was like, okay, even when allowing 200 yards rushing, the Bears had lost 18 in a row. So I'm hoping this leads to more, right? I don't want to overreact and say that this was a breakthrough game, but it was really nice to see like a breakthrough like this happen, where when everything seems sometimes to be looking like that things were going wrong, Caleb Williams was able to put it in his hands and kind of lead this team a little bit more. I liked it. I think this team is going to be all right. Again, you have high hopes for a team that looks like this because of all the weapons around Caleb, because of how, who's there for the coaching staff, because of everything else, because of Caleb Williams. But I think it was good to be able to have him have the ability to take on like late game pressure and turn it into something. I enjoyed it. Rest of the way, we'll see. What's your schedule like? Is it pretty bad? No, it's not bad.
Oh, we got a bye week.
You got a bye week.
Then the
Commanders, Saints, Ravens, Bengals. I mean, so there's so many Giants. I mean, it's such a mixed bag that, it's pretty good. I think that, again, this is a team that won the offseason. So you always win the offseason and you always win like training camps and everything. But turning it into something like this where you kind of looked and thought, well, they're not going to win this game. And then to be able to turn it around like that, I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think they're going to be fine. You're just going to have ups and downs.
No, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the perspective. I think that the Cowboys game could have been considered a little bit of that's a breakthrough game, but can you sustain it? And they go out there and they get a harder fought game. It's too similar to last year, because last year they had this game against Jacksonville in London. You win this team's good. We're going to be fine. Go on the bye week, come back, play Washington in a game again that was sloppy. But obviously the game ended the way it did with Tyreek Stevenson, everything that happened with that, and they lost. Here, the exact opposite happened, where it was much like almost the same script, except this time the Bears win. Like, we were able to go back in the past and do that. Let me ask you though about the Cowboys. I know that Adam Ronas is your partner there at NFL at Fantasy Life. What is that? That was just one of the weirdest games that I've ever seen. Crazy. And I sincerely believe that Jordan Love didn't realize that when the clock's out, there's no second overtime, brother.
Yeah,
you gotta go. This is it. You could have lost.
What was that? And he's so lucky that ball deflected off whoever it did at the time, because if it didn't, then it goes to triple zeros and the game's over. That was crazy enough. I was watching that game and I was screaming at my TV. They know better than that too. LaFleur knows better than that. Everyone should know better than that. So it was so odd to see them have no sense of urgency in the final, however many handful of seconds it was there. But yeah, to end in a tie, first of all, I hate that. It felt so. It just didn't feel complete to me. So Adam even felt the same way, but I know he'll take a tie over a loss any day. But yeah, it was just odd, because to me, I looked at this game and I thought, first of all, shout out to Dak Prescott, because I really pushed him down my rankings. I said, there's no chance I want to start him against this Green Bay defense, who we looked at them and then we said, oh, there's you just don't want to face them right now. They look nasty. Micah Parsons really didn't do much in this game. He was kind of set aside, which is totally fine. But I thought, shout out to Dak Prescott, shout out to George Pickens, got you 30 plus fantasy points in that one as well. I think I'm coming to terms with, Jordan Love and the Packers. That Matthew Golden that we get week in and week out is probably what it's going to be this season. And I think that's the more disappointing part for me, because you expected, or at least I expected, when they spend the draft capital that they did for a franchise that hasn't done that, hasn't gotten a wide receiver in the first round since, 2002, that they're going to utilize him like the first round pick since 2002 that they're going to use on a wide receiver. And so all of a sudden you got Romeo Doubs, getting getting the hat trick and all of the other stuff. So yeah, it was an odd game. But for Dak Prescott to come out there and do what he did, this Packers defense just kind of didn't show up for him. So shout out to them. But yeah, a tie, Adam. What are we doing? Come on. We can't keep doing that. It's so disappointing.
That's Premier League stuff. I think for the Cowboys, you were probably very excited to get the draw, as they would say across the pond. Get the draw right there. I also want to point out too, you're talking about your rankings. Kendall's rankings are available at fantasylife.com. They're absolutely free. The default for fantasylife.com is half point PPR, which that should be good enough. You'll be able to figure it out. But if you want to go out there and check out Kendall's rankings, which I do, I'll be honest with you, it is my go-to. When I need to go check something, it is there's two that are available for free. There's somebody else and it's you. And you can click Kendall's name, so you get her rankings instead of the composite or the other person I don't even know who the other person is.
Waz, and to be honest, we love Waz.
I love Waz, but I'm a Kendall mark. So that's where I'm. No disrespect to Waz. I'm a huge fan, But at the same time, I'd rather get Kendall's view on this. But similarly, no, because I had the same feeling about Dak Prescott going into that game, being like, they're obviously not going to be able to run. Like, I wouldn't expect them to run, but can they pass on this team? Like, I was going out and trying to pick up like Jordan Love, or who was the other? There was that, because he was weirdly available like that.
Probably Daniel Jones. I mean, I had Daniel Jones QB9 for the week, and that didn't work necessarily as well as you would have hoped going up against the Rams. Yeah.
No, that was an Adonai Mitchell ruining things for us.
Come on. God, it's like shades of JT from last season when he did that. Remember when he was celebrating going into the end zone? I don't know.
Why can't you learn? Like, that should, like, once Deshaun Jackson did that in college, TJ Hushmanzada, I think, was another one at Oregon State. Like, that should have been it. Like, that should have been the cautionary tale of, like, please don't celebrate too early when you're going to the end zone.
Exactly.
A couple of guys, though, I did want to talk about. Sam Laporta. This one, like the Lions after week 1 against the Packers, they're fine. Their offense is good. They're going to score points this season. Jahmyr Gibbs has been fine. David Montgomery was bad against the Browns, but not a shock because that's a great defensive line. Sam Laporta has less than 9 fantasy points in each of the last 3 games. Are we concerned? I don't know what we would do, but is Sam Laporta ever going to get it going?
Yeah, I mean, you're concerned. Well, and the weird thing with the Lions, and what I always said to people on the radio when we were coming into this season, was that the Lions were really expensive, one of the most expensive teams to draft this year, just like last season, right? If you wanted a piece of Jahmyr Gibbs, even David Montgomery, ARSB, Jameson Williams, like you said, even Sam Laporta, and then you add in Jared Goff at the end, like, someone's going to fail here. We love Goff, but you cannot support all of those weapons that you have there. And so someone's always going to be the odd man out. And Jameson Williams has those games sometimes where you come down and you're like, okay, he does give you those boom games. But yeah, Sam Laporta, I don't know. To me, he just finished like 3rd on the team in targets behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. So you're like, okay, but it was underwhelming. And I know that it's just one of those things where I think you just have to ride the wave. But if you're looking at streamer territory, there are always, to me, going to be better tight ends than maybe you look at. Juwan Johnson, crazy enough. I mean, you might get Taysom Hill back, and that could totally screw everything up, which would really just grind my gears. But you might be in a situation where we know that the Browns defense has been legit. And so you might have looked at that game and said, you know what, maybe I need to turn somewhere else. And so someone like Juwan Johnson, which is crazy enough, Hunter Henry was someone ranked higher this week going into it. But yeah, someone's always going to be a loser in this offense, even if they get, if they score all the points in the world, someone's going to disappoint you because of how many weapons they have. And yeah, it's been Sam Laporta, unfortunately, which just sucks because you spent good draft capital on him too. That's the other part.
Yeah, that's the one where you're like, I'm going to spend up for a tight end this season, and it's going to be Sam Laporta, and it hasn't paid off. And you're watching other guys like Juwan Johnson or whomever go out there and score all these. Like, I could have just not drafted a tight end, but I think that happened. I guess that happens with a lot of positions, but still, it's frustrating with Sam Laporta. Another player who's been entirely frustrating has been the wee Lad McConkey. And I know that Lad McConkey is probably like 6'2". He's not a small person, but it's just like, the wee lad. Not been great.
No.
And Quentin Johnston just feels now like he's not going away. And Keenan is I equated Keenan Allen to, I think, like, in some sense, like, Lad McConkey's the boyfriend in the rom-com who's not a bad guy, not evil. It's not like Kilborn in Old School. It's more like the guy in The Notebook who was just like, there was nothing wrong with him. Like, he even forgave Rachel McAdams, but still she's like, I like this other guy. And so he's just like, not a bad person, just loves somebody else, which is like, that's how Justin Herbert feels about Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Like, I know we had our thing, Lad, but I really love Keenan. Is Lad ever going to get it going? Because I'm growing increasingly concerned.
Isn't it crazy that Lad McConkey could be the wide receiver 3 on his own team in 2025? Like, I think that's nuts to think about. And I think that is also somewhat our reality right now, right? Like, you can't look at it any other way. And I think it's more of a thing of, yes. So Lad McConkey, especially at his price, like, he's not paying off his ADP this season. It looks like there's still a long way to go. But from where you purchased him, where you bought him for your fantasy drafts, like where you drafted him, his ADP, it's going to be really hard to pay that off. So for me, it's part that, and then the other part is Quentin Johnston, like a revelation really, because the Quentin Johnston stuff was always about the drops, and he had a good end to the season last year. But all of us, me included, in the offseason just said, okay, yeah, that's great, that's cute, that's fine, whatever. But you still have a drop problem. We're not necessarily trusting you with your hands in this offense, and it just feels like they've catered things a little bit more to make sure that his skill sets are highlighted in this offense. And I think that's great for him. So you look at someone like Lad McConkey though, and you say, okay, if Quentin Johnston's playing well, Keenan Allen is a vet that, said he wanted to be in California somewhere on a team there, and he eventually ends up back with the Chargers. Like, yeah, someone's going to be, again, the odd man out. And so his numbers have taken a hit this season because of it. So he's going to continue in my rankings to just slide. He's going to slide until I think I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I have him probably this week going like more of a wide receiver 3 range, though. I don't think there's any other way that you can look at him besides a wide receiver 3, unless we never want injuries. But that really feels like what's going to have to happen here, because you have Justin Herbert had a season low 12.52 fantasy points, only completed 56% of his passes. But in a game like that, where it's not looking good, McConkey, caught one of his 6 targets for 11 yards, 2.1 fantasy points. So in a game like that, where it's not going well for them, it goes even worse for someone like Lad McConkey. And I think you're still going to get good games from him, boom games, and probably based on where you drafted him, you might not have better options at a start. But it is going to be one of those close your eyes and just take a deep breath. So I'm thinking he's a wide receiver 3, though, going up against this Commanders defense in week 5. And it's not great. It's not great. Shout out to Quentin Johnston, though. Who would have thought?
No, you know what? Last week was the first time that I believe that I had Quentin Johnston actually ahead of Lad McConkey, where you're like, you sort of got to trust it. I do remember, talking with people in the Chargers organization over the previous 2 years, and I'm like, what's the deal? And obviously it's the drops, but the drops also led to a lack of confidence that Justin Herbert had in throwing the ball to him, which he started to get it back a little bit, as you said, at the end of last season. But now it looks like it's fully like Quentin Johnston, and we just need to go out there and believe it. I think Lad McConkey is, like, as you said, it's going to have his moments, but at some point it's going to be fewer and far in between. And by the way, I realize it's probably I think that's the second time that I've dropped a Notebook reference on you.
It is. You did it 2 weeks ago, which is crazy. I didn't know you were such a huge Notebook fan.
I didn't plan it. I love the Notebook. Like, I literally love the Notebook. I'm not like a big scary movie person. Like, I will not watch scary. I just don't watch horror movies or anything like that. And so, but I will love something like The Notebook, because I'm a crier. Oh, ask any of the kids that I coach. Like, I'm a crier.
Really?
Big time. Marty Schottenheimer and Dick Vermeil have once told me to get it, like, pull yourself together, Rank. Like, you got to be show a little. I'm like, sorry, Marty, if I'm getting Marty Schottenheimer to admonish me for being too emotional, something is happening with me. Another wide receiver, before we'll get to some fan questions here, I do want to ask one more about Nico Collins. That's another one. Like, this is Nico Collins to me. Yeah, this season was always one of those guys that, in my league of record, I went by a strategy of because I always feel apprehensive about drafting Nico Collins, but I'm like, well, this is like when you're playing blackjack and like, well, the book says to hit on this, so I'm going to hit this. So if I'm getting Nico Collins at this value, I'm going to draft him. And I've not enjoyed the Nico Collins experience this season. Is that going to change?
Man, I hope so, but probably I don't. Like, the thing with Nico Collins is that I think he has all the talent in the world to be a world-class wide receiver 1 that could lead your fantasy team to victories by the end of the season. But the other part is that CJ Stroud has not been good. I expected more from this offense as a whole, right? I expected more from CJ Stroud, and that offensive line is way worse than I anticipated. And I think that's where a lot of it comes together, is that, like, if you don't have time for CJ Stroud to get set and just drop back a little bit and feel less pressure than he's feeling right now, you're probably not going to get a lot of, just good passes, a lot of targets to Nico Collins. And so I want to say I believe that it's going to change, but man, it is so bad that it's just one of those things where I think you have to like go down with the ship though, right? It because of
Yeah,
where you
100%.
drafted him, you just have to do it. I know people have asked me, and I think this is an interesting, start to week 5 where people start to look and say, okay, what trades can I make? I've got 1 win, I've got only 2 win, I'm 2-2, whatever it is. I'm 2-2 going into the week, whatever it may be. And so I think that Nico Collins, though, you can't do anything with it. It's almost like trying to trade Lad McConkey right now. You would get nothing in return for him that would make you feel good about it, unless you really are just absolutely sick of him. Then I guess do what you will. But I do think against games like Jacksonville, he got you 22 fantasy points, right? I think there are games that are going to be like that: 8 receptions, 104 yards. But the median, like the average, is probably the ones that we've seen, right? 3 receptions, 3, 4 in weeks 1, 2, and 4, and then you get 5 fantasy points, 14 and 12. So again, you can wait for the boom game if you do want to sell him, but I'm just going to write it out because I do want to say that better games are ahead for him. They take on Baltimore, then they have their bye week. The Baltimore Ravens defense is like non-existent right now. So maybe that's something that can get him together, but I'm going to write it out with Nico just because I think he's so talented that I feel like something has to come together. But yeah, I'm kind of also a sicko. So we like to feel pain at him. We're just like, this was my mistake. I have to continue to go with it. I know.
I'm gonna have to wear it. Make some
He's
room
so
on that
talented.
door.
He's so talented. That's the crappy part though, is like he is so talented that if you pepper that man with targets and you just put him up there, like I really do think he can just be someone that wins leagues. But because of what we've seen with his offense as a whole and how bad, like CJ Stroud is just like, man, it's not good.
Shouldn't have sunned Caleb Williams there in front of the whole world. That has been the downfall since that moment. But when you watch Nico Collins, like he's such a great player. Like as you said, like you can't help but watch the talent and not be impressed with what he's able to do out on the football field. That it doesn't make sense. Like the fantasy points have to go there. I picked up Nico Collins to win a fantasy football championship. And speaking of winning fantasy football championships, too many times when you win your league, you get like a crappy plastic trophy or a GG in the group chat or whatever. But then let me tell you, that ain't it. We're talking about Crowned Champs, everybody. Crowned Champs just dropped the hottest thing that fantasy football has ever seen. You can go out there and win crowns, robes, rings, scepters, all sorts of things that lets the world know that you are fantasy football royalty. And right now you can go to crownchampscompany.com. That's crownchampscompany.com and sign up for just $3 a month per person. You could go out there and enter a contest to win fantasy merch, to win some of these great prizes. Go out there and be the king or queen trash talker, or you can just go out there and order the crown yourself. Really represent your league. Don't go out there and win your fantasy league. Go out there and rule it. Go to crownchampscompany.com. And by the way, one other quick thing. You and I before the show, we're talking about like, this has been a day. Like we both, this time of the year, you just have a season. Listen, so many times I go and I don't have anything to eat. I intermittent fast. That's why I lean on Huel protein powder. Nice. I just threw away the bottle because I just finished one. I got a few moments before we started the show, and I'm like, I got to pound one of these Huel protein shakes. I am the protein shake master. I love it. I live off of it. Huel protein powder is the best one that I've ever had. They're like 400 calories, 35 grams of protein. I'm good. I don't have to eat for the rest of the night. I'm sitting here drinking water, finishing my coffee. Gonna have a great night. I still got rankings to do. I still got a bunch of stuff going on, and Huel is gonna push me through. And if you go to Huel.com right now, use the promo code SickBears, you'll get 15% off your first order. Don't go to Costco. Don't go to GN. I don't even know if GNC is still a thing. Go to Huel.com. Use the promo code SickBears. Get that discount. I implore each and every one of you who struggle with eating like I do. I got coaching. Like I got kids to coach. I got all sorts of things. I'm a very busy person, Kendall, as I know you are as well. You got a baseball game to go to. You're on with Adam Ronis.
Yeah,
2
Adam
hours a
taking
day.
all my energy. I know. It's like gotta listen to him complain about the Mets, now the Cowboys. You gotta get filled up.
You know what? And I missed you guys this morning. This is my late arrival day at the NFL Network. I'll be back tomorrow to listen to you guys. I was thinking about Adam last night because the Cowboys were tying, which, as you said, is probably better for them. The draw is better. It's better than a loss. And then it's Mets. Like, oh my gosh, this poor guy. Bad. While you're sitting there living your best life with the Mariners, Cal Raleigh is going to end up being should be the MVP.
Right?
It's good. It's good. He should be. I don't
He
want to get.
should be. I'm biased
He
though.
should be.
I'm fully biased.
I know you don't know this about me. I do not like the Mariners. I've never liked the Mariners.
Well,
I'm
I
an
mean, you're
Angels
an
fan.
Angels fan. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Of
But
course.
even Hater McHater over here has to be like, yeah, Cal's, he's the MVP. He's the catcher.
I
He's like,
know.
I don't care how many home runs, Aaron Judge hits or is that whatever.
Hey,
Like,
listen,
okay,
amen.
until Aaron Judge gets behind the plate, calls a game, I don't want to hear another
I'm
word
sick of
about it,
Aaron
Yankee
Judge.
fan.
Just kidding. I'm biased though, so I actually really like
You're
Aaron
biased.
Judge.
I am not. I'm biased against you, and I still believe that he should be the
Exactly.
MVP.
That has to show everyone the unity that Cal
Right?
Raleigh brings to the world. Like, give him MVP.
If that's not the endorsement he gets or needs, then I don't know what is. All right, let's take a couple of questions from the crowd.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the first one here. Thoughts on super chat. Thank you so much. I gotta put on my readers because I'm an old man. Thoughts on a trade, AJ Brown for Drake London. You're getting Drake London for AJ Brown. I like it. What do you think, Kendall?
I don't know. AJ Brown has just been so annoying, hasn't he? Has he not been?
Right?
It's just
He
been.
has
So
been.
you're getting AJ Brown or trading away
No,
AJ Brown?
I think Kay is trading AJ Brown for Drake London.
Listen, I mean, for how AJ Brown has been used over these past few weeks, right? We got the boom game and we thought maybe this is it, but this team just doesn't need to do that. And it's so frustrating for the Eagles because I figured coming into the season that, they would need to have more pass attempts in a game because they were second to last season. And I thought there's no way that they can replicate that. Saquon Barkley is obviously going to, and Saquon Barkley, for what it's worth, I mean, we had it's Overreaction Monday today on SiriusXM for us, Adam, for Fantasy Life. And I said, will Saquon Barkley even get to 1,000 rushing yards? And of course that is an overreaction, a little bit dramatic, but I mean, he hasn't really been doing much either for you. So he's coming back down to earth there, but AJ Brown, man, he just cannot even. I think Dwayne McFarland told me yesterday that two of those targets yesterday were catchable, and the rest weren't. So I actually do kind of like it. Listen, if you can get AJ Brown for anything right now, like a piece of gum and a rock, maybe, I don't know, maybe do it because he's just been that frustrating. And they're not going to be in these game scripts either. Like it's when they're behind that you have to see them start throwing the ball. And then you're like, oh, okay, I guess we'll get Devontae Smith involved. I guess we'll get AJ Brown, but they play the Broncos next week. And then it's the Giants, the Vikings, the Giants again, the Packers. I don't know. It's just been so frustrating.
It has been. And you talk about the boom game for him. It was when they were down to the Rams. What was it? 26-7. They were getting destroyed. They had no choice. Nick Sirianni just feels like that guy who is super content with playing the boringest brand of football as long as he goes out there and wins.
Yeah. Or smartest guy in the world. I'm the smart. I don't need to use my guys. I can be the smartest guy in the room. Kind of Sean Payton vibes. No shots intended, but it's like, you have AJ Brown, like, you have these guys, right? We can use them and utilize them.
Yep. He's good. He's like, that's okay. Fun. It reminds me of being a child when I was growing up, and my friend had like this awesome collection of Star Wars toys.
Oh, nice.
And you're like, hey, we're gonna break these out today. He's like, oh no, never playing with these. Like, what are we doing? What do you do if you're not gonna play? Let me have them then. Like, this is unfair. If you're just gonna sit here and hoard all these cool toys and not allow us to use them, then send AJ Brown to the Giants or whomever. It doesn't matter.
Anywhere. I love wide receiver drama though, because you saw his post after the game. His quote. I love like wide receivers are so much drama, but I love them for it. So I'm so excited to see what else like we can cook up over these next couple of weeks with him. It's crazy.
Like whenever you sit there, I know you probably don't know what Facebook is, but back in the day, people, you're a kid. You don't understand.
I know Facebook.
But whenever somebody posts like a Bible verse on Facebook or even like in their Instagram stories or on TikTok, that's your code. Like that's a call for help of like, hey, saw that you were quoting this Bible verse. Everything okay? Do we need to check in on you? Are you fine? It is one of those. I did that one time, but they didn't realize that I was quoting Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction. It's a made-up Bible quote, by the way. Like, I'm like, no, I'm just doing, I'm like, whatever. Like, people, hilarious. How about another question, Sammy? They sit here. Again, I got to go to this. Okay. 12-team, half point PPR, Knicks, Purdy, London, Collins. T. Higgins, Emeka Abuka, Fergie, Monty, Henderson. Okay, we're going to go with
Oh my
every team.
God.
I'm 1-2. If Knicks don't drop 40 tonight. Who to drop for Woody or Wandale, thinking T or hold? There's nothing wrong with your team.
No, don't drop T. Higgins
I
for
think you're just
Wandale.
doing, I think you've just run into some bad luck.
Yeah. Because, well, so London, we just talked about Nico Collins as well, like Nico Collins. Yeah, it's one of those things. But Drake London, like, no, I really actually like this team. Egbuka is still going to get his. Ferguson. I
Right?
mean, if there's anything you can do, you can always stream tight end. But Ferguson is even good there. Monty, I like Henderson. Mason, Sharps. This is like a loaded team. I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, don't drop these guys. Try and get a trade done because all of these guys hold value. I think T. Higgins, even tonight, like we have that game coming up here, and I think that he could also have some good value tonight because Patrick Surtain's more than likely just going to be looking at and only covering Jamar Chase. So I think T. Higgins actually has a chance tonight to put up some good numbers here. And I know that the Browning stuff was not good last week, but I'm hoping that once they get through this stretch of really difficult games, that maybe he comes back through to the 2023 version that we saw. I hope.
No, for
Maybe.
sure. I agree. I agree with all that. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe you don't need to carry two quarterbacks and figure out which one of those guys you want to roll with, either Knicks or Brock Purdy. And then if you want to go out and pick up Wandale Robinson, but it feels like this is a 10-team league where you did a great job of drafting and your guys just haven't performed yet. This is where you lose leagues like this, is by overreacting and being like, this guy's never going to be good. Because if you dropped any one of those guys, including T. Higgins, he might go out there and just become a star. I think Jacob Browning, and I'm going full government name here, Jacob Browning, was disappointing last week. I don't think he's going to be tonight. I think we'll see a different version of Jacob Browning. Did we have Ishmael's question from the chat too? Because I saw that he's a big Bears fan. It's like, send a question in the chat. Thanks. Go Bears.
Nice.
If you guys can find,
I think
I am actually
it is
my
the one
setup tonight. That was it. He's got, oh wait, was that it?
It was the one I think we just did.
Oh, the big one. Okay.
Yeah, the big one. But I do like, it's a good team.
All right. Yeah. Good team. You're good, Ishmael. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
You're
don't
going to be
freak out.
fine. Don't freak out. All is well. You're going to be doing just fine. All right. How about another question there? And again, I guess I could just leave the glasses.
What are your glasses? Come on.
I know. Just wear them. Hey guys, what do you think about trading away Mason and Tootin for Godwin and Swift? What do you, this just feels like you're trying to make a trade to make a trade.
Yeah.
And I think that Jordan Mason's going to end up being a better running back for you. Which way are you leaning?
Yeah, I don't. And listen, Swift, Swift doesn't do it for me in this one. I like Mason over DeAndre Swift in that scenario. And I get Chris Godwin, like if you need receiver help, but and listen, Chris Godwin actually looked good over the weekend. It really didn't look like he missed a step. And so I still think that it's going to take him a while to get back to that 100%, right? Where we see him all back. But we're going to have Mike Evans back in a couple weeks. Emeka Egbuka is still going to be doing Emeka Egbuka things. So yeah, I would just hold on that. I love Jordan Mason going forward. I know Aaron Jones will be back too, but I like Jordan Mason a little bit more than I like Swift.
No, I do as well. And I think it's going to be bad this week because you do have the Cleveland Browns, which will probably bottle up Jordan Mason. And who was it? Was it Zach Levi? Wait, who was the guy who had their backup running back had 8 targets?
Oh my God. Yeah. Hang on. I wrote about him. It was so weird. I was like, really?
Just talked about him a second ago.
I did too. Dang, look at us. See, we know it's the end of the day when we're, isn't it like Zamir, right? Or something like that? No.
Great Scott, Xavier Scott.
Yeah. Look at us.
That is just, and I remember it because of people making the "that helps no one" jokes. You're like, great Scott, who is stealing touchdowns. But I'm like, and he scores a touchdown, and normally we do that segment like with the "that helps no one," and it's usually a fluky thing of like, this guy did nothing all day. He got targeted 8 times.
Yeah,
and
he was in the game plan.
100%. And I'm looking at what they're going to do against Cleveland. And we saw, the numbers are going to be a little bit skewed because Jahmyr Gibbs had so much success. No, you're good. Had so much success that it just felt like, they're not running the ball, but they want to get the ball to the running backs in space. So he could actually have another decent week
Yeah.
this week.
He's like
But
a
Jordan Mason will
hybrid.
probably,
Yeah.
Mason will struggle this week, but he'll be back.
He will.
How about another question, Sam? We have 4, I think, tonight. Is it
Ooh.
ridiculous to start? Oh, Tom, is the game started yet? Is it ridiculous?
No.
No,
I
we're
don't
still
think so.
good. I think the Dolphins game is going.
Yes. I think
Is it?
I think it
Yeah,
is.
is it?
I think
It
it's do you think it's ridiculous? I think
yeah,
you
100%.
have to go with Knicks. And I know Knicks has not looked, I mean, oh my gosh, he has not looked good
Yeah,
at all. That's that I called that the QB death zone when you were in that range of like Bo Nix, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, those kind of 3 guys. I was like, I don't necessarily want any of these guys. But what Bo
yeah,
Nix hasn't done this season is not good. But again, you have to look at they're playing the Bengals defense at home. So you're hoping that if there's any kind of get right game, that it has to be tonight in a few minutes here. But he's been held to under, he's only reached 200 passing yards one time. It's 206. He's been held to under that. Like he's
yeah.
throwing less. Like they're not even asking him to do much. It's not good. But I would still go with Bo Nix over Browning tonight.
No, I agree with all that. I've been widely disappointed with Bo Nix. As a matter of fact, like just trying to, pick up a weight on a core. I actually went in on quarterbacks this year thinking to myself, like, hey, I want to make sure that I'm insulated. And because in a lot of my leagues, because so many times we sit here and we do this, and I know that this is one of the cool things about listening to your show is that you get a wide variety of people who play in leagues where the quarterback scoring is different. I think a lot of the fantasy hipsters do like the 4 points for passing touchdowns, no bonuses, but most people don't play that way. And I was noticing more and more that like, oh, you've got to have an elite quarterback to go out and win these leagues. I picked Lamar Jackson. And now I'm like, really? This is what we're doing here. I got Lamar Jackson. Speaking of which, what do I do? If we're not going to know for what there's nobody. There can't be anybody available on the waiver wire to go out and pick up.
Maybe you get Jackson Dart as a streamer, huh? Could I interest you in a little Jackson Dart against the Saints?
What do you think about? Okay, he is going up against the Saints. What did you think? Well, I have Jackson Dart in a super flex league.
That's good.
Which has been huge for me because I had only had Justin Herbert. I had one quarterback in a super flex league. I don't know how I was so competitive. I've lost in a championship round every week or every year. But now I get Jackson Dart. What do we think long term? I know that he was the first quarterback since Tim Tebow to have 50 rushing yards, 50 passing yards, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, or whatever. Something it was him, Tim Tebow, and Art Schlichter, and I'm like, okay, we don't need to throw Art Schlichter into this, but a rare skill set for Jackson Dart. What do we make of his debut?
I liked it because what do we always need? We need a potential dual threat quarterback. And while it might not be pretty through the air, where no one's, saying that he is Josh Allen coming up, but I think he had 111 in that game, but it's the rushing yards. It's the potential that he has on the ground to just take off. So I looked at his stats and I said, okay, I mean, this is pretty nice, to be totally honest. If he's going to be able to give you, that floor, I think if he gives you that floor, he's a QB2 moving forward. And I think it's going to be gross and you're going to have to squint a lot of the time because their schedule. That's the only thing that I just is that if you go and pick him up, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows the whole time because, oh my gosh, their schedule, they've got the hardest strength of schedule in the league. Next week they play this coming week, I should say, they play the Saints, but then they get the Eagles twice, they get the Broncos, 49ers, your Chicago Bears, the Packers, the Lions. It's going to be, it's not going to be as pretty, but he always has the ability to to drop back, look around, and if he doesn't see anything, to just take off. I do think that he's going to probably have to do that a lot more now that Malik Neighbors isn't out there too. Rely a little bit more on Cam Scattaboo as well in that backfield, but I don't hate it. Just there are going to be some times though where you can probably stream a different guy, but I still just like the rushing upside that he can potentially give you. So I'm fine with it.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think
Yeah.
for 1 week going up against the New Orleans Saints, I'm going to go pick them up. All right. So I'll
Yeah.
add Jackson Dart to all my Lamar Jackson teams, and I think I'll be pretty insulated right there. And obviously, the Bears are going to be off, so I'll be able to sit back and watch all my fantasy leagues. And by the way, if you're in the greater Chicagoland area, where are you watching your football action? Could I recommend Twisted Shamrock, the place to be to watch Chicago sports, whether you're a fan of the Bears, Bulls, Cubs, White Sox, Blackhawks, Sky, or Fire? You need to be at Twisted Shamrock. They have monster giant screen televisions in their private party room, in their bar, and out on their magnificent, it's an awesome patio. Again, we're getting close to the end of patio season there in Chicago, but go take advantage of it while you can, and take advantage of the great drink specials, the wonderful hospitality, and the best old fashioned in the entirety of the Midwest. So if you're going to be making a trip out to Chicago, or if you just live there, go down to Twisted Shamrock, watch the games this weekend. You'll have a great time, and let them know Adam Rank sent you, and they'll probably be like, who? They'll be like, oh, that guy from the thing. They'll be like, oh yeah, that guy. But listen, Kendall, I know we got some Monday Night Football games to go attend to. I really want to thank you so much for your time. It's always a great honor for us to have you here on these recurring Mondays, these every other Mondays. I look forward to it, and I look forward to listening to you tomorrow on Fantasy Life on Sirius XM. And by the way, anybody who wants the updated rankings, they come out Tuesday for you?
Yeah, Tuesday, late Tuesday. Late Tuesday is usually how I do them. So tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So go to fantasylife.com. You can find Crystal's rankings, and it's free. You don't have to pay. You don't have to go to the paywall, everything like that, or anything like that. You can just go to fantasylife.com. Great resource, honestly. Yeah. And I've known Matthew for years, and I think that Fantasy Life is the absolute best.
Oh, thank you.
Outside of us, I guess I got to promote NFL.
Exactly. I was going to say, well, yeah, one more.
We're being sold. I don't know. Am I selling out myself? I don't know. I don't know who to promote anymore. But I want to thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, the next time I talk to you, the Mariners are on their way to the ALCS.
Oh my gosh! I'll do a whole segment on just the Mariners. It'll be great. But yeah, I love coming on here and just talking Bears and everything else with you every other week. So I appreciate you having me on again.
No, we appreciate it, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Until that time, I don't say bear down to you, but bear down to everybody else. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the Monday night game. Sammy, go ahead and play us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.